Hi, my name is Sarah. My channel is all about sewing and styling a handmade wardrobe. And today we're going to get back to my series where I share the patterns that I would sew again. And we're going to be covering bottoms, so pants, shorts, skirts, and jumpsuits. If you have not seen the other videos in this series, I will link them down in the description box. I have a playlist. And I'm also going to include the playlist of patterns that I would not sew again. And we will be getting back to that series as well, but one thing at a time. I hope you don't mind that I am going to be including jumpsuits in this video, mainly because I probably should have put them with the dresses, but I forgot. And there's not enough of them to have their own standalone video, so I'm just going to squeeze them in with this one. I will put links to all of the patterns down in the description box, and some of them are affiliate links, but they are clearly labeled so you'll know which ones they are. And let's get right to the patterns, starting off with knits. So the first knit pattern that I would sew again is for the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit. I've made 3 versions of this, 2 with the long pants and 1 with the shorts. And the version that I would be most interested in sewing again is the romper version, because I find that the version that I made out of cotton spandex jersey is perfect for summertime loungewear. It's very easy to get on and off. It feels like you're wearing pajamas, but it still looks polished enough that if someone comes to the door, if I have to sign for a package or something, it still looks very presentable. It's very easy to sew, and you can make it in a variety of fabrics, and it can look more casual or more elevated depending on what fabric you choose. So if you like that style but haven't yet tried the Sirocco jumpsuit, I would highly encourage you to do it. It's one of my favorite jumpsuit patterns. Next up, we have the Butterick 6388. Now the pattern cover is a little deceiving because it looks like it's simply a loungewear pant, but the style of these pants are actually a little bit more polished in my opinion. They have pleats in the front, they have slash pockets, and they have a narrow tapered leg. I made my version out of a black ponte fabric, and in my opinion, these make the perfect comfortable work trousers. They look a little bit more professional, but they're elastic waist, so easy to get on and off, and they're perfect for sitting around at a desk all day. For this pattern, I probably wouldn't make a ton of different versions of it, but what I would do is I would sew the pattern again once my original pair gives out. I've actually had that ponte pair since 2017, I think, and it's still going strong. But if I ever needed to replace it for any reason, if I changed size, or when my pair does eventually wear out, I will make another version because I just really like the style and comfort of this particular pair of pants. I think that they're ideal for an office setting. Next up, I do have quite a few patterns from Green Style Creations because I find that their patterns are really wonderful for loungewear and activewear. First up, we have the flare leggings. I've made this twice. I have one version out of a black polyester spandex, and then I have a second white version out of a nylon spandex. These yoga pants are just so very comfortable. They're my ideal loungewear pant. I wear them the most in the wintertime, just with a simple sweatshirt or hoodie, or even a long sleeve t-shirt. The pattern does come with different views. You can have different rises. I think there's different types of waistbands. You can add pockets. I did put pockets on my black version, but then I did not on the white version because I don't really need pockets for loungewear. And I just think that they're so comfy and cozy, but they still look really nice with that flared leg. So I don't wear these for activewear, but I do wear them around the house all the time. And I know that I will make more in the future. Maybe even trying out some different colors or prints because I just love the pattern that much. Next, we have the Green Style Simpatico leggings. This is my favorite simple leggings patterns. I've tried a few different free versions, but I like this one because of, again, the different rise variations, the different waistbands. I think you have a variety of lengths. You can do anything from shorts down to full-length leggings. And if I just have a single cut of fabric and I don't want to do any piecing, I really find that these are simple and easy to sew. They do have a gusset, and so they're very comfortable to wear. And the pair that I made, I use for exercising. I don't really wear it as loungewear. Of course, you could if you wanted to. But I know that if I need more simple leggings in the future, that's the pattern I'm going to go to because I just think that they're ideal for exercise. The next pattern is for another loungewear pant. This is the Pattern Emporium Urban Pants. The version that I made was out of a fur-backed sweatshirting that I got from Minerva. I like this pattern because it has a yoga waistband, so it's very, very comfortable against the body. There's no elastic cinching you in. And it also comes with a variety of leg shapes. You can do a straight leg, which is what I made, but you can also do a flared leg or a wide leg, and I would like to try both of those at some point in the future. It's just another pair of really comfortable loungewear pants. I've tried a lot of different loungewear pant patterns, sweatpants, joggers, etc. But the ones I'm sharing with you here are my favorites, and they're the ones that I would go back to again in the future. And I do tend to favor patterns that have multiple views because you just get more bang for your buck. And I think the Urban Pants collection is really good in that it gives you that variety. And it's also relatively inexpensive in terms of indie patterns. The next pattern is the Green Style Creations Stride Tights. I've made two versions of this. I made two pairs of bike shorts out of some contrasting fabrics that I had in my stash. I used these for exercise, although you could also wear them for loungewear. This pattern also comes with a variety of different lengths, so you can do shorts all the way down to full-length leggings. I believe there's also some pockets that you can put on if you want, but I never use pockets in my loungewear or my activewear, so I didn't bother with that. The thing I like about this pattern is if you have different fabrics that you want to use together, whether it's just contrasting or you're trying to use up scraps, this is a really good pattern that's still relatively simple to put together. I've tried some other patterns that have different contrasting fabrics as well, but this one is my favorite because it is the quickest to sew. So I know that I will make more of these in the future when I eventually need to replace some of my activewear shorts. And the Green Style Creations instructions are always really good, so I do highly recommend their patterns. Now the last knit pattern that I have to share is the 5 out of 4 patterns Shenanigans Skirt. This one I made out of a nylon spandex activewear fabric, although I do not wear these as activewear. I wear them more as a regular skirt. I really loved this particular skirt that I made. I took it with me on my vacation and it was just perfect for those really hot summer days where you want to look cute, but it's very easy to move around and you feel very secure because you have the shorts underneath. Now I put the flounce on the bottom of my skirt and that was not intentional. I only had 1 yard of fabric, and when I tried to just do the plain skirt, it was just a little bit too short and the shorts were peeking out underneath the skirt. So I used up the scraps that I had left over to piece together the flounce and put it on the bottom. But I actually ended up really liking the way that it looks. It's a little bit fun and flirty and different. But I would like to make another version of this skirt where the skirt is just a little bit longer and I don't need the flounce. I just really enjoyed wearing the skirt on my vacation, and so that's why I would like to make another version in the future. And I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of wear out of the black one that I made because it's so practical. So if you're looking for a good, easy skirt pattern, I do recommend the Shenanigans skirt. I've been very happy with mine. And before we move on to the wovens, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up because it helps more people find my channel. All right, let's move on to the wovens. First, we have the McCall's 5375. This is a vintage pattern from the 90s. I made one version out of a linen rayon blend. It's a floral print that I was sponsored by Minerva, and I absolutely love this jumpsuit. I love the versatility of it because you can wear it with a t-shirt underneath, similar to what I am wearing today. You can also wear it on its own, and the legs are so wide that it looks like a dress. It's also very easy to get on and off with the buttons on the front, and so I definitely want to make another version of this because there's a variety of different necklines that you can do, and it also has a shorts version as well as the longer version that I made. I'm not gonna lie, it did take a lot of work for me to get this to fit me properly, but once I got the fit right, I'm really happy with the results. And I don't wear jumpsuits very often, but this one I will make an exception for because I just really like the way that it looks. And I absolutely love that vintage 90s flair. The next pattern on my list is the Ready to Sew Jazz Jumpsuit. This is a mix and match pattern that has a ton of different options. You can actually make dresses, overalls, jumpsuits. There's just a ton of different variations that you can do with this pattern. So that's why I want to try it again. I really want to make different variations that I haven't gotten to yet. The styles that I made were basically the same, and I made two different versions, and they were both the short overalls. I wear these quite a bit in the summer as loungewear. One's made out of linen and the other is a lightweight denim, and they're super comfortable to throw on just over a t-shirt or a tank top. I wear them all the time in the summer, but I would like to try some of the other different bodices and maybe do the long pants or even the dress. So that's why I would like to go back to that pattern. I just feel like it has so much untapped potential, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet. Next, we have Simplicity 9125. I've made one jumpsuit out of a beautiful Cloud 9 rayon. Unfortunately, I don't have good pictures of this. I only have a picture where it was kind of cold, and so I layered it with a t-shirt underneath, and the t-shirt's a little bit bunchy, so it's not the ideal styling. And I just haven't ever taken the opportunity to take a photo of it on its own. But every time I wear this jumpsuit, I get compliments. People in real life seem to love it, and I love it too. It's perfect for summer. Because it's so lightweight, you can wear it on a really hot day. It has pockets, and I really love the halter style neckline, but the pattern also comes with a different view that's more of a wrap neckline, and I would like to try that version as well. I think the combination of the pattern with the rayon fabric that I picked is just a match made in heaven. And so if I made another version, I would also use a really drapey, flowy fabric. And I believe this pattern also comes as a dress as well. And so there's a nice bit of variety there. You can make lots of different views. So this pattern will stay on my list and I hope to revisit it at some point. The last one piece that I have to share with you is the True Bias Riley overalls. I've made one version of this out of a black denim. I mostly wear these as loungewear, but I do wear them all year round. I really, really love the Riley overalls. I just feel like they're the perfect fit. They're oversized, but not too baggy. They have a straight leg. You can roll up the cuffs or you can leave them down. And I would like to make the shorts version. I wanted to do it this summer, but I just don't think that I'm going to have time to get to it. I also really enjoyed sewing the Riley overalls. They're a little bit on the challenging side, but they're not completely impossible. I just found them to be a really fun sew. I like True Bias patterns in general. I've made quite a few of them. I always feel like the instructions are really clear and their overall aesthetic just seems to be really good for basics. So I'm hoping that maybe next year I can get to the Riley overalls and make the shorts version because we're running out of summer and I just don't think I'm going to have time to do it this year. But maybe next year I can make it a priority. For pants, we have the Closet Core Jude. There's two different views to this. There's one that is a mid-rise that's more of a traditional 5-pocket style jeans, and then it has a little bit more of a bootcut leg. And then there is a higher rise version that has patch pockets on the front and it has more of an exaggerated flared leg. I've made both versions of this, and if I made a third version, I would basically combine the two different views. I prefer the look of the traditional jeans, and so I would make like the 5-pocket style jeans, but I would keep the high rise and the exaggerated flared leg. I think that would be my perfect pair of flare jeans. This pattern is for a stretch denim. I've made one version out of a white denim and the second version out of a blue denim. I recently had to retire the white jeans because they were just getting a little bit too tight in the thigh, but the other version I still wear and love. And closet core instructions are always really good. I think that this pattern was worth the money. And out of all of the closet core pants that I've tried, this is the one that I would go back to. Next, we have the Helen's Closet Falconer pants that I made fairly recently out of a purple twill fabric. I have been loving wearing those pants this summer. There's something about the purple that just automatically lifts my mood, and it really goes with so many more things in my wardrobe than I was expecting. I know that the barrel leg is not for everybody, but I just really, really like the pair that I made, and I want to make another pair in a white linen. It's another thing that I'm not sure I'm going to get to it this summer because we're quickly heading towards the end of the season. I should probably start thinking about fall, but definitely next year I'm going to put that on my priority list because I really do want a white pair of barrel leg trousers. And eventually I would also like to try the wide leg view because I do just really like the pants. They're simple to make, but they have a little bit of a design flair to them that's just a little bit different. It's a bit more elevated than your typical summer pant. And Helen's Closet instructions are always so thorough and clear, and I had really good results from using her patterns. Next, we have the I Am Patterns Sunshine Jeans. I've made one pair out of a black corduroy, and I did the tapered leg view. Now, the pants that I made are not perfect. They're just a little bit too big, or at least they were. I've gained a little bit of weight, and so they may actually fit me quite well at the moment. But I'm not wearing them because it's summertime and it's too hot to wear corduroy. But the view that I actually want to sew again in the future is the barrel leg view. This particular version is a little bit baggier than the Falconers. It's a little bit more exaggerated, but by no means is it one of those like huge like horseshoe type jeans. It's a little bit more subtle than that. And I would really like to give them a try. Maybe that's something that I could put on my list for fall. I'm a big fan of I Am Patterns. I think there's a few more of their patterns on this list as well because I do like them as a company and generally they tend to fit me fairly well. So this is another pants pattern that I've only made one version of so far, but I would like to revisit it again in the future in the different view. Next on the list is the Megan Nielsen Ash Jeans. This is a jeans pattern. It has a mid-rise, it has 4 different leg shapes, and it's meant for stretch denim. I've only sewn one version of this out of a black stretch denim, and I made the flare leg view. I do need to remake these pants because they're a little bit too tight in the legs for me now. So I would need to reprint the pattern into different size and refit them again, but I do think that it's worth it because you have the different leg shapes. You could reuse the same pattern once you get the fit just right and just change up the legs. I probably would never make the skinny version because I'm just not that crazy about skinny jeans, but I do like the slim straight, I like the straight leg, and I do like the flare leg. So I think there's enough value there in the pattern that it's worth it. I'm pretty sure there's also instructions to do either a zip fly or a button fly, and I do like that variety as well. So I think this pattern combined with the Jude covers all of my stretch denim needs. And I know that tons and tons of people have used this pattern in the sewing community. It's a tried and tested one, so I feel pretty confident recommending it for a lot of different sizes and body shapes. Next up, we have my TNT pants pattern that I never get tired of talking about. It's the paper cut patterns Tula pants and shorts. I have made this so many different times. I've always made the wide leg pants version. I've never made the jogger style. And I've also made several pairs of the shorts. You can make this in a knit or a woven, although I've only made woven versions so far. And I do need to reprint and refit the shorts because the legs are a little bit too tight on me, but the pants I can still wear. I just think that these are a wonderful elastic waist pull-on pants pattern. It's simple, but it's a little bit elevated. It has a faux fly, it has inseam pockets. And for the pants, I just really like that particular leg shape on me. It is a wide leg, but it's not overly wide. I don't feel like I'm being dragged down by too much fabric. And I think that this pattern is probably going to be the next on my list because I do need to refit the shorts and make some pajamas and some pull-on elastic waist shorts because I do really rely on those in my summer wardrobe and I've been missing them since they don't fit me anymore. So it's time to put a few more pairs back into my wardrobe and I'm hoping to get to that very soon. Next we have Simplicity 9647. I've made one version of this out of a green twill fabric that was sponsored to be my Minerva. I made the long pants view. It does also come as shorts, I think in a couple of different leg lengths. I would also consider making the shorts in the future. The thing that I like about this pattern is I really like the leg shape. Again, it's a nice wide leg, but it's not overly wide. I like that it has a flat front and a high waist. The only thing that I don't like about this pattern is the welt pocket instructions. I think that they're very confusing and they don't give good results. So in the future, if I wanted to do welt pockets again, I would just substitute different instructions, or maybe I would just use patch pockets or just skip pockets altogether. But I do definitely want to make these pants again. I think that they're very comfortable and they look nice and polished for work. And if you have a very casual office environment like I do, I could probably even sew the shorts and just have them be a little bit longer on the thigh, and I could probably wear those to work as well. Next, we have another tried and true pattern for me. It's the True Bias Lander pants and shorts. I've made both the pants and the shorts, and just like with the Tulas, the pants still fit me, but the shorts are a little bit too tight in the legs, so I do need to refit those. I really love all of the versions that I've made of this particular pattern. I've made the crop pants and the shorts, and both are just perfect for summertime, and I've also made a long pair of jeans that I wear year-round. I really like the exposed button fly, although you can also do a zip fly with an expansion pack, which I have purchased but haven't tried yet. I love that these pants, kind of like the Falconers, are just very, very simple and quick to sew. And so if you get the fit right, you can just keep making them over and over again. And I'm sure that I will. Probably not this summer because as I keep saying, we're running out of time, but definitely in the future, I want to make more of the shorts for sure, and maybe even a few more pairs of the pants. Now the last pants and shorts pattern I have to share with you is the I Am Patterns Harmony. I've made one pair of shorts out of a linen rayon blend, and these are probably my favorite pair of shorts that I have right now. They have a pleated front and a really wide leg, so in my opinion, they're just very flattering. You can make them in a variety of different lengths, from shorts all the way down to pants. You can add cuffs or you can just make them plain. I definitely want to make more pairs of the shorts, and I'm even considering doing the pants, although I will say that the legs on these pants are very wide. So I think I would be careful about my fabric choice if I wanted to make the pants. I would probably avoid anything too stiff. But if I had something really flowy, like a tencel twill or maybe even like a linen rayon blend, I think that it would make a polished looking but also really, really swishy and comfortable pair of pants for summertime. So I'm considering maybe trying the pants eventually, but definitely the shorts are on my list. I want to make more of those in the future, and maybe out of something fun like a print, because why not? Now I only have a few skirts on this list because skirts are kind of a tricky garment for me. There's something that I just don't reach for very often, and so I have a ton of different skirts in my wardrobe, but I don't wear any of them very much. So I want to be careful in terms of repeating a pattern when it comes to a skirt. I have to really like it because for the most part, if I'm going to sew a skirt, I'm probably going to try a new pattern versus going back to an old one, just to have more variety in my closet. It's pretty similar to dresses in that way. I'm very much the same about dresses. But I do have a few skirt patterns that I would like to revisit, so I'm going to share those with you right now. The first one is the Chalk and Notch Evelyn. For this pattern, I just want a do-over because the skirt that I made was a navy viscose twill that I bought from fabric.com. It was a very low quality fabric and it disintegrated in the wash. The first time that I washed it, the seams just completely frayed and came apart. So I never got to wear that skirt, not even one time, and it made me very sad. So I would like a do-over so that I could sew that pattern and have a skirt that I would actually wear. The view that I made was the elastic waist version with the slit in the front. I think there's also some wrap versions, which I'm not as interested in. But I do think that that skirt pattern is really nice for a print. Even though I made mine out of solid, I think that it would be beautiful in a print like it shows on the pattern cover. So I haven't gotten to it yet, but that is a skirt pattern that I would like to revisit. But mainly it's just because I put in all that work and then I had nothing to show for it. I would like to have a skirt made from that pattern that I could actually wear. Next, we have McCall's 2255. Now this is a tried and true basic that I know that I will go back to again and again. It is an out of print pattern from the early 2000s, but it's just a simple bias cut skirt pattern. You can find different ones available. I think there's even some free versions out there. I like this pattern because it has an elastic waist, so you don't have to put in a zipper, which can be a little bit tricky when you're dealing with the bias. So I do like that it has an elastic waist. There are different lengths that you can do, all the way from knee length down to floor length. You can put in a slit, you can have an overlay. I think there's only one pattern piece and you just cut two of them on the bias. It's a very simple, quick, easy sew. I'm pretty sure both versions that I have made, I did French seams. So it has a really beautiful, nice finish on the inside. The first one I made in a knee length out of a rayon in a color that was not very good for me, so I no longer have that skirt in my closet. But my second version was out of a silk, and I absolutely love that skirt. And I do wear it fairly frequently in terms of skirts. Like I said, I don't wear skirts very often, but it is one that I do reach for a little bit more frequently than some of my others. So because this is such a basic, easy pattern, it is one that I see myself making over and over again. And you just can't go wrong with a bias cut slip skirt. It does go with everything. You can wear it through all seasons if you layer properly. So even if you can't find this particular pattern on the market because it is out of print, I do highly recommend finding a bias cut skirt that works for you and keeping it as a staple in your closet, because I do think that you would use it again and again. Next up, we have the Sewaholic Hollyburn skirt. This one is kind of another do-over sort of scenario. I made this skirt many, many years ago. I had to go dig back in the archives to even find photos of it. I had made it out of a wool suiting in this chocolate brown, and the skirt that I made was fully lined. The thing that I like about this skirt is that it has a waistband. I believe it's a half circle. It does have slash pockets. The version that I made, I shortened it to be a short skirt, but if I made it again, I would do a long version. I just think that this would make a really elegant sort of 50s throwback looking skirt, very ladylike. And I've been interested more in the fuller skirts lately, that kind of silhouette. So I would like to try that again at some point. I haven't really had an opportunity to do it yet, but there is something really appealing about a long, swishy, flowy skirt like that. I think that it would look beautiful. So that is a pattern that I haven't sewn in many, many years, but I would like to go back to it and revisit it at some point, even if it's not anytime this year or anytime soon. So that concludes all of the bottoms patterns that I would sew again. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you missed any of the others in this series, I will put up the playlist so you can go check them out now.